Drones rain fire across the battlefield, from fueled trains in Zaporizhzhia region to cows deep inside Russia. In Toretsk, Ukraine drone stop Russia motorcycle assaults called. Europe enters the fight with new missiles and non-stop shell production. Is the Kremlin ready? And in a moment of hope, 303 Ukrainian soldiers return home in a major prisoner exchange. With you, Zaroslava Kolesnikova, this is Ukraine Today, and we are here to bring you the latest frontline news. Truth and victories you won't see anywhere else. Let's begin. Spectacular footage shows a precise Ukrainian strike deep in occupied Zaporizhzhia region. Drone operators from Ukraine's military intelligence tracked and hit a Russia train carrying fuel. The strike happened right as the train was moving through the Verkhny Tokmak, Molochansk and Fedorivka rail line. At latest, 3 fuel tanks were destroyed. As a result, Russia's railway Stapi line and occupied Zaporizhzhia and Crimea has been disturbed. The fight to block and break Russian logistics continues, and Ukraine isn't slowing down. The fiery collapse over Putin's hand. Ukraine drones are tearing through Russia's pride. Panic on camera, soldiers running air defense replaced by buses and ropes. Even the dictator's factory didn't survive. Epic scenes straight from Moscow and a juicy strike you have to see to believe. Don't blink, it's all coming up.
It's flying.
There it is, look here.
Just not towards us, please.
Quiet, 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 quiet.
In more than 3 years of full-scale war, Russians have learned to recognize the sounds of Ukrainian drones. Local residents are fearfully commenting as UAVs circle over the town of Bolkhov. This is the Oriel region. But the drones weren't heading toward the people filming the video, but right here, to the Bolkhov semiconductor plant. And they made it, as local residents say, whether with horror or with barely concealed satisfaction.
It's really simple.
Later, the fact of the strike was confirmed 3 times by the Center for Countering Disinformation. At the same time, they added, until recently, the plant was importing Western technologies despite the sanctions. The microchips produced by the enterprise were used in tanks, self-propelled howitzers, Iskander and Kh-101 missiles, and various electronic warfare systems. Now, the area around is littered with all kinds of debris. The people of Bolkhov are deeply shocked.
Well,
Wow!
The residents of Balashika near Moscow are no less shocked, especially by the inaction of their own officials and military.
So where is our security? And those who did find proper security for it are simply filming in silence. Another type of mobile air defense. At least 1 drone near Moscow was reportedly shot down, according to users, by an ordinary city bus. And this is how protective charms fall from the sky just a few dozen kilometers from the city center. Local residents are filming a souvenir, a piece of the self-propelled anti-aircraft system Pantsir S-1. While the residential districts of Moscow and the Moscow region were being guarded by heroes on vines and buses, the 2 largest Russian cities announced the carpet plan and closed all airports. Soon Yaroslavl, Vladimir, Ivanovo and Kaluga joined them. And with good reason. Ukrainian drones were seen and heard in the skies over the Lipetsk and Vladimir regions, which is more than 500 kilometers from Ukraine.
In Toretsk, the enemy keeps trying the same trick, fast motorcycle rides against Ukraine's 2nd Mechanized Battalion, but every time they fall. Ukrainian drones are doing incredible work on this front. They detect, track and strike enemy units with speed and precision. video shows how confused Russian fighters are taken out along with the remains of their two wheels scattered on the ground. Drones hit fast, strike hard and leave no room for retreat.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
Europe is stepping in and the decision shocked the world. New missiles are ready to rip through the sky. Deadly shells will now be produced non-stop. Russian army is crouching low, knowing their firepower could be coming from them. Is Europe defense industry now aiming straight at the Kremlin? All the answers in our next report.
Ukraine is defending itself against the Russian Federation. Israel and Taiwan are in need of American weaponry. Taiwan is arming itself due to threats from China, while Israel is conducting a major operation after the Hamas attack. Because of the scale of threats around the world, the United States is running low on high-precision weaponry.
If you look at all the stocks of American arms manufacturers after Munich, some of them dropped by as much as 80% in just a month. Look at the shares of Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, or other major companies, some of the largest manufacturers in the world. They all dropped after Munich, realizing that there is no clarity and, well, no clear signals from the administration regarding procurement. So on our side, they will also get involved.
Rheinmetall is ramping up gunpowder production. Rheinmetall plans to repurpose two of its factories that currently produce automotive parts. In Germany, a railway plant will be converted to produce components for the main battle tanks Leopard 2 and the infantry fighting vehicles Puma.
We have no interest in Poland, in Latvia or anywhere else. Why would we need that? We simply have no interest, only threats.
Due to the threat from Putin's Russia, Europe has shifted to a war footing.
If we already have HIMARS systems deployed, then we will definitely be buying American missiles. If most of our systems are European, of course, but the problem is that, for example, Europe has never produced such a quantity of air defense systems.
To reduce dependence on the United States and speed up deliveries, one of the world's leading manufacturers of munitions, land systems, and defense electronics, as well as the global defense technology and scientific innovation company Rheinmetall, together with Lockheed Martin, have signed a memorandum of understanding. The German arms concern Rheinmetall and the American Defense Corporation Lockheed Martin have decided to create a joint venture for missile production in Europe.
Sometimes you have to wait 10 years to get missiles from America. That's far too long. That's why both partners wanted to create a European Missile Competence Center.
Lockheed Martin has confirmed that it is actively cooperating with European allies to meet global demand for American munitions and precision strike systems.
This partnership reflects our commitment to advancing transatlantic security and providing our allies with proven state-of-the-art capabilities. It's a step toward helping our European clients fulfill their commitments to NATO. By combining Rheinmetall's expertise with Lockheed Martin's advanced missile technologies, we are creating a strong foundation for ever-evolving security needs. This partnership will strengthen the defense industry and create jobs in both the United States and Europe.
Lockheed Martin has been a partner of German industry for over 50 years and continues to develop these partnerships. Rheinmetall will hold 60% in the joint venture. Special emphasis will be placed on the production of long-range missiles, which are needed by Ukraine and European countries.
They want to launch basically a policy of new industrialization, meaning weapons production, to open up what was previously closed.
After this collaboration, there definitely won't be any problems with ammunition. The plant will produce powerful ATA-CMS and GMLRS shells for the HIMARS and M270 MLRS multiple launch rocket systems. Lockheed Martin has decided to stop producing ATACMS in America and is starting to manufacture the newer PRSM. In connection with this, there is discussion about the possibility of fulfilling American contracts at the new plant. They also plan to produce Hellfire missiles for drones and aircraft. Their range is the greatest among similar weapons in the United States. In Europe, there are plans to produce PAC-3 missiles for the Patriot air defense systems.
We all understand that selling weapons is a matter of politics. I always say that it's easy to buy a rebel kit, a pistol, a machine gun, an assault rifle, a grenade launcher, but there are serious things like air defense systems.
Things like intelligence data, for example, or things like aircraft. That's already politics. That's no longer just about weapons.
After 3 years of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, it has become clear that it is precisely these missiles that are lacking to hold the defense on the ground. The capacity of the new enterprise in Europe will be quickly filled thanks to orders from Ukraine, which has a high demand for Patriot missiles.
Europe does not currently have the capacity to fully supply us with its own production, so that we could stop purchasing weapons from the United States.
The intellectual property rights in this case will belong to the European side. The production line will be ready in 12 to 13 months. Engine production will begin in 2026 and missile production in 2027. The planned capacity is up to 10,000 missiles and the same number of rocket engines per year.
Russia has simply never threatened anyone.
Despite the fact that Ukraine is making purchases in the US and the European Union, the development of the Ukrainian defense industry is not standing still and has become a national idea. The Ministry of Defense previously noted that every second piece of ammunition at the front is produced in Ukraine.
We manufacture barrels, cannons, self-propelled artillery, and we produce ammunition. But the question is the quality of all this. We remember the recent scandals with the mines, and those concerns were not unfounded. There are also issues with quantities, timing, and with more specialized types of equipment.
Europe's need for ammunition will only continue to grow, and Ukraine, with its experience in combat against the aggressor, will be able to integrate its military-industrial complex into the European defense industry.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
Our heroes are back. Another 303 Ukrainian soldiers have returned home as part of a major three-day exchange known as 1000 for 1000. Among those fit are sailors, paratroopers, infantrymen, National Guard members and border guards, all welcomed with open arms on native soil. A big thank you goes to the coordination headquarters team to making this possible. The work continues. We will not stop units. Every defender is brought home. That is all for today on Ukraine Today. If you value real frontline news, like this video, leave a comment and hit the bell so you never miss an update. And most importantly, become a sponsor of our channel. Support independent Ukrainian journalists who risk everything to bring you the truth, even in the middle of war. Stand with us, be part of our team, be part of Ukraine Today.